What's up, everybody? It's your boy King Hussle. Yes, it's the best money and credit channel on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell. So whenever I drop new sauce, new lessons, new methods, and giveaways, you'll be the first one to be notified. You'll be the first one to know what's going on. And hey, you might be the first one to win something for free. So make sure you subscribe and hit the all notification bell, all the YouTube channels. Bad boy is tight on my wrist. Also, make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. All you gotta do is click the title on every video. Once you click the title on every video, at the bottom in the description, all my social media links will pop up. All right, got a lot of fake King Hustle pages out there, so please get a FaceTime verification call or video to make sure you see this face and make sure you are doing legit business and you are getting what you paid for. All right. And before we get anything started, this is all educational purposes only, not telling anybody to do anything. So let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Hey, what to do, my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there, my real Hustle Nation Empire family members, and we are back at it again with the gems, back at it again with the sauce, back at it again with the information that's gonna turn you into a boss. So you tired of being a zero? You ready to be a family hero? Listen up, take a seat, get your notepad and get your pen, because you already know when I drop these videos, get them notifications. There's gonna be some information that's gonna help you win. And in today's video, we be talking about these new methods that's going on in today's world in 2026. Now, it's a lot of people out here that's looking. It's a lot of new scammers and fraudsters and hackers out here in today's world. It's a lot of people that's been okay. Put to you like this: the scam and fraud epidemic started COVID-19 when the PPP loans hit, the EDD loans hit, the stimulus checks hit, all that hit. People are followers. People do what they see the next person doing that's making them some money, so they automatically feel like they can make some money too. And the problem is people don't do their research or really don't know anything about the things that they be trying to do. So PPP loans came around, COVID-19 came around, EDD came around, all these pandemic loans and grants came around for businesses because due to COVID-19, people weren't allowed to go outside, and due to people not being able to go outside, businesses were falling apart because nobody can come outside and come shop. So the government issued EDD, PPP, these loans, and that for businesses to keep their businesses afloat, pay their payroll and things like that. So people seen, and then they was forgiving the loans too, meaning that if you got the loan, you filled out the paperwork and did the right what you were supposed to do, you wouldn't have to pay the money back. So people hearing that these PPP loans, you don't have to pay them back. That's all they heard. So a lot of people started fraudulent businesses and got fraudulent PPP loans. And by them doing that, a lot of people seen how easy it was to get funding for a business. So a lot of people went to jail for the PPP loan. A lot of people went to jail for the EDD pandemic, all these different type of things. But now people realize how easy it is for you to get money with a business, establishing credit. So after COVID-19 PPP, everybody wanted to get their credit together. Everybody wanted to start a business because now people are in the impression that you can get money utilizing your credit and opening up a business, which is true. But people just think it's just get an LLC, get an EIN number, now you can get some money with a business. No, it's nothing like that. So ever since COVID-19, PPP, EDD, social media was introduced to the scam fraud pandemic, the scam fraud world, dark web. Because a lot of people knew about these things, but they wasn't like seeing these things. They wasn't interested in these things. It wasn't in their face. Ever since then, the epidemic, the wave, the world for scam frauds and hackers have been more on the forefront due to social media, due to different platforms. People post videos and flaunt hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they promote different quote unquote methods, scams, frauds, glitches, you name it. And this has been going on for a long time, for the past 5, 6 years. And things change, people's situations change. And there are people that were back then, somebody who probably had a job, a good job, wasn't thinking about no scam or no fraud or nothing. And you fast forward 5, 6 later, and now they're not in the same position, and now they need quick, fast funds, and they don't have time to go apply for another job or hope to get another job, or they're not going to go sell no drugs, or they're not going to try to go sell their body. So the last option that they have is, well, I seen these people flashing hundreds of thousands of dollars on social media, talking about this method, that method, this glitch, that glitch, this sauce, that sauce, and it can happen fast. I'm gonna try that. So now in 20, I would say a, a little bit. Okay, so towards the beginning of the middle of last year is when a lot of people started to really get into this field of scams and fraud, meaning that it's a lot of new people looking to do some type of method to get them some quick, fast cash, more than it was back then. Scams and fraud has been up 600 to 800%. And it's due to the economy, it's due to the government, it's due to a lot of different things. Because a lot of people that's been brainwashed from seeing these social media posts of people flashing hundreds and millions of dollars talking about this method, that method. Now they want to get a piece of the pie, and because this is all they know, this is all they see, they're brainwashed. So there's a lot of new things that's been going on in the world that has a lot of people intrigued and fascinated with when it comes to scams, frauds, the dark web, you name it. And it's a lot of people that's targeting banks because banks are the number one institute that deals with money and provides money. And wherever there's money being made, there's going to be some type of scam or fraud being committed. People got to understand that when these companies and these businesses and the government makes it easier for the people to do something, they're also making it easier for a scammer or a fraudster to do something. Because at the end of the day, the same steps that the people are doing, the fraudsters and the scammers are doing, just in a fraudulent way. It might be fraudulent information, it might be fraudulent documentation, and they're doing it the same way with just with fraudulent information. And then a lot of people realize that in real life to get approved for these some type of loans, depending on the type of loan or funding that you want, it's all based off paperwork. And then people figure out, well, hey, you can create your own paperwork. So now people are starting to say, well, if I can make these documents and walk into this bank or this institute with it and get approved for this, that's what people are starting to connect the dots. So you got a lot of different people who are targeting banks when it comes to different methods. Now, as the world evolves, those scams and the methods evolves, the new generation, new people doing new things. You got to think about it. 5, 6 years ago, it probably was a 12-year-old who knew nothing about this or who was on. See, a lot of people don't know. A lot of scammers and fraudsters come from, and hackers come from like playing a game like Minecraft and things like that. And that's a whole different story right there. But a lot of these people who get into this world be into it because of they're on the games all day and this is what they're seeing and hearing. So then they get interested in it, and since it's been popularized, now they're into this world. So you got a lot of new scams and methods going on with this new generation. New generation, they're a little bit more technical when it comes to the scams and the fraud. OTP bots, SIM swapping, jackpotting. These bank scams right here are becoming more popular with the new generation of fraud and scams. For instance, OTP bots, SIM swapping, scammers. First of all, people got to understand the difference between a scammer and a fraudster and a hacker, because people just be calling everybody a scammer, and everybody, all these people is not the same thing. Scammers are people who manipulate, social engineer, or trick somebody into sending their own money. They didn't steal or go into your account or do nothing. They tricked you, manipulated the person or the victim so well that they made them do that on their own, willingly, like their own will, like they did it on their own. They sent that money. Nobody put a gun up to their head or nothing. They did that on their own. So that's a scam. That's a scam. Fraud is when somebody goes into a victim's account and takes their money without their authorization, without their consent. That's fraud, and that's another thing that people are starting to, scammers and fraudsters are starting to learn, that banks cover bank accounts from fraud, not scams. So somebody, so okay, let me break it down to you like this. So there's two ways that this new generation is starting to utilize bank fraud and things like that, especially Chase banks, Wells Fargo's, U.S. banks, Navy Federals, all these hot popper banks. So by them understanding that the difference between fraud and scams, and that banks only cover fraudulent activity, not scams. So they know that if they can get the victim to authorize these payments on their own or have it get into that account to authorize these payments, then the bank won't refund them that money and the banks won't come after the fraudster or the scammer because the bank is not out any money. It's the person was the victim because they got scammed and it wasn't fraudulent. Because on the other side, on the bank's end, it looks like the victim actually sent out these payments and authorized these payments because it's coming from their account. So scammers and fraudsters utilize OTP bots, and OTP bots are basically spoofers, and spoofers basically allow that person to call or text somebody from any number that they want. So they can put in any number, and that number will pop up on the caller ID when they send out a text message or a call. So what they're doing is they're going on the dark web and they're buying banks databases, meaning that they're going to the dark web, find somebody that might got a Chase Bank database, and they probably buy 100 people's information. So all these people have a Chase Bank, and it's all the information, name, all that, whole fools. So now this person knows that all these people actually have a bank account because you got a lot of times people just send out random text messages to random people, and that's what happens. They sometimes people don't even got the banks that they portraying as. So you got scammers that are sending out random text messages to different people and like, hey, are you trying to? This is Chase fraud department, and that person might not even have a Chase bank account, so they know it's automatically fraud. So scammers and fraudsters have gotten more sophisticated in doing their methods and their tactics because what's the point of sending out these text messages to a group of people who don't even got a bank account. And then it goes to the point where they're even finding out who has business bank accounts and finding out the balances on those accounts. So now instead of going for the personal accounts, they're going for the business accounts because that's where the money is. Because at the end of the day, most people are broke. And a lot of people don't got money in their personal accounts. But businesses, people are starting to learn about businesses and know that businesses get funded, businesses make money. So if they can get this business profile with money in it, then they hit the jackpot, and they have a better chance getting a business profile than the personal profile. So OTP bots, they're starting to buy these. They're starting to buy the information off the dark web, knowing who got a bank account, who finding out who got personal bank accounts, business bank accounts, sending spoof text messages. So it might be a text message say, "Hey, are you trying to spend $1,000 at Best Buy? Or are you trying to purchase this? Blah blah blah," or something like that. We all know what goes on. That person gonna text back no. So the person on the other end with the bot gonna get the text message. They gonna say, "Okay, the blah 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 bank will be fraud department will be in contact with you shortly." They give it a little second, then somebody from the fraud, the person, the scammer calls that person with the spoof bot, and the number that pops up is the actual number on the back of the debit card for the fraud department, and that makes it even seem realer for the victim. And because they're already afraid, they already got like their mind is already in a certain space of afraid and awareness of somebody trying to steal their money, so they're not really paying attention. And for them to see a real bank pop up number and all that, they're gonna automatically think it's real. You got people that go, so this different ways they do it. So you got people that have called and say, "Hey, this is blah 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 blah." What the are you trying to do? Like, no. So like, okay, you need to change your password and you need to change your all your information. So they say so they might even just text you. So they might text you and say, "So what is your current username?" They might send it and be like, "Okay, what's the username that you're trying to change it to?" And then send it to them. They say, "What's your password?" They say, "What's the password that you're trying to change to?" And people will really text this information, and then they say, "Okay, we're going to send you a one-time password." So what they're doing is just log into that person's account. And most times when you log into an account, a bank account, they send you a one-time password. And so they act like they are the bank and say, "Hey, we just sent you a one-time password. Could you send us that code back to confirm?" Blah blah blah. So they get that. The scammer is on the other end logging into that person's account and say, "Okay, good. Your account will only be down for 24 to 48 hours while we do maintenance, blah, 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 blah." The scammer goes to the account, changes passwords, sends out wire transfers and fraudulent things, and it looks like it's the victim. So the bank is not, it's like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause it shows on the system that this person had the login information, logged in, got the one time password, and put the right um, one time password in, so it had to be them. So they do it that way, or they might call and have the person go transfer money into a different account and do things like that. Like there's different ways that they do it. Then they got the ATM jackpot scam that's going on right now. People hitting up bank ATMs with the jackpot, basically putting um, malware on these ATMs, because a lot of people don't know that ATMs are basically small computers, and anything with a system, a server, uh, a database can be compromised or hacked. And ATMs actually have USB ports that you can insert a USB into that ATM, because you got to be able to program it and things like that. So hackers or people are starting to ATM jackpot, meaning that they're putting viruses on these ATMs and controlling it, meaning that they're making it just disperse money out of the ATMs. And people are starting to get a hold of that method. And you got people who've been doing the common check scams and the credit card scams, and then the identity theft scams with the pre-built CPNs, getting loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. It's so much scams and frauds going on in today's world that is becoming crazy. And then you got these methods from the glitches and the load ups and the crypto that are actually real. And so many people are promoting it on social media and showing it, that so many people are starting to dibble and dabble into the world. So it's a lot of people, and it's a lot going on, especially with these new scammers and these new fraudsters and these, you know what I'm saying, young adults that's figuring out new things that's making people very interested in getting into the world of this dark place. So it's a lot of going on in today's world. So it's all about being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware of what's going on. Because if you're not, you could potentially become a victim. But if you are aware of what's going on, and you paying attention to these videos, your mind will register. So if something as the such was to happen and you remember the information I give you, it'll red flag in your head when you see it. So now you'll know how to keep yourself safe and protected. So like I tell you guys all the time, make sure you get your Norton Life locks. It'll monitor your social media accounts and financial accounts to make sure no suspicious activity is going on, and it'll monitor the dark web to make sure your personal information is not on there being sold. So make sure you guys are getting your Norton Life lock. Make sure you guys are getting freezing your credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. When you freeze them, nobody can get anything in your name. So make sure you guys are freezing them so you can keep your identity safe. Make sure you guys are getting new credit card and debit cards every so often. We tap, swipe, insert on a daily basis, and when we do, that information is now being stored in the database. And when it's stored in the database, we all know it's a potential compromise, leak, or hack waiting to happen. So, if we are changing our debit card and credit card numbers every so often, it'll keep us more safe and 10 steps ahead of these scammers and fraudsters, because you got to think about it. Where if all the places have you use your debit card, and think about all the databases that information is now stored on, and then think about all the compromised leaks and hack texts that you get in your text iPhone and all that. Like it's a lot going on. So you changing out that credit card and debit card number every so often, you can keep yourself safe. All right. So make sure you guys are keeping staying more safe, staying more cautious, and being more aware out there in this crazy world that we live in, because this is at the end of the day, this is all real deal information that's going on. There's nothing I can do. It's all educational purposes only. Um, Awareness is key, and it's just about being safe as we go. So Shout out to all my real King Hustle fans, supporters, subscribers out there because without y'all, there'd be no me. Y'all motivate me to keep going. Y'all motivate me to keep dropping the sauce. And y'all motivate me to keep y'all entertained. So shout out to all of y'all. Anybody out there is tired of being broke because it ain't no joke. Let's get to work. FaceTime one-on-one limited gyms are $1,000. But for limited time only, I'm doing it for 600. Yes, 600 cash app or Bitcoin payment. Once the 600 is on cash app or Bitcoin balance, send me a screenshot. Let me know your payment ready. And we will go from there. All right. No screenshots, no replies, no 21 questions. And please, not yummy. Make sure y'all book y'all see you on the webinars Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 250. Make sure y'all book y'all see on the crypto tour in person women in gyms, 3,500. Make sure y'all book y'all seat on the Muslim mentorship, $1,000, 30 days. Get help with anything that you need help with. Let's get to work. Make sure y'all checking out my vendor platforms on Telegram and the Potato app. Millionaire Networking World. Still look for people for the production company. Make sure y'all subscribe and hit the all notification bell on my YouTube channels, my Twitches, my IGs, TikToks, and Snapchat. Make sure y'all checking out the crypto world because it's changing people's lives, but y'all knew that. Make sure y'all get in where y'all fit in with these loaded potatoes. We gonna call it loaded potatoes, 100 it up, right? So you trying to get a loaded potato, 100 it up, send me the screenshot when you payment ready, cash out, Bitcoin payment. We're gonna go from there, right? So with that being said, that's your boy King Hustle. Y'all know I get down in these videos. I'll see you at the next lesson video or live. Peace.